Hi everyone, Chris Nansky here with Black Belt Leadership Speaking and Coaching with your Mind of a Champion Tip of the Week live on Facebook. Yeah, I'm sitting outside waiting for my oil change to be finished, and I thought I'd share a message with you that just has stuck with me so much throughout the years. As a martial arts instructor, as a coach, I've had numerous opportunities to witness students and clients move through obstacles. And I'll tell you what, it's so inspiring when someone is just intent on moving through an obstacle and really realizing a dream. And in the martial arts experience, I've seen people move through physical illness and injury. I've seen them go through financial problems, relationship problems, but there's just such an inspiring piece that you see when someone works through that obstacle because they're intent on making something happen and they just keep showing up. They just keep showing up. And it reminded me, as I was thinking about this, of a story of a student that I had the honor of teaching several years ago. Hey Brian, good to have you join me. That really exemplified this, and his name was Nabil. Now Nabil had come to me in our martial arts studio probably when he was around 8-9 years old. He and his mom and sister had just moved from Southern California, and he had trained in the martial arts previously, and his mom wanted to get him into a program that would continue to support him. Now, I think Nabil would also admit he wasn't the greatest athlete, but boy, he had heart, and he just kept showing up to class, kept working on his skills, and after a couple of years, reached his junior black belt status. But he didn't give up there. From there, he went on to get his second degree. Then he started on my leadership team, and he became an assistant instructor. And then after several auditions, he finally became a member of our world-class demonstration team because he just kept showing up. So fast forward a couple of years now, Nabil is now a senior in high school, and he's one of my lead instructors. Great instructor, great charisma, great teaching ability. Parents love him, students love him. And now he's getting intentional about where he wants to go to college. And not just any college, but he's decided that he's going to attend the Colorado School of Mines, which is one of the top engineering and applied sciences colleges in the Western United States. And when I'd have my annual review with Nabil, he'd talk about this goal, his eyes would sparkle, his face would light up, and he was just so intentional about what he wanted to make happen. See, because he was really inspired. His mom had remarried, and his stepdad now, and he had gotten very close, and he wanted to follow his stepdad's footsteps in moving into the petroleum industry. So this is a perfect match for him. Well, one day I walked into the studio one afternoon, and there's Nabil at the front desk. Now, normally he'd be this really cheery, bright-eyed kid, but he really seemed down. And he said, "Hey, sir, can we go into the office and chat?" So I said, "Of course." So we went in, and he proceeded to give me the devastating news. He had not been accepted to the Colorado School of Mines. So we sat for a moment and kind of processed that disappointment for him. But then I asked him, I said, "What are you going to do from here?" And true to Nabil's form, he already had a plan. He was going to go to another school here in Colorado State University, and he was going to get his grades up, he was going to find out all the prerequisites he needed, and he was going to reapply to the School of Mines for his next year. So I said, "Great plan, awesome buddy, good luck." Well, a couple weeks later, I walk into the studio once again, and there's Nabil at the front desk. But this time his eyes are all lit up. Big smile on his face. He says, "Sir, can we go in the office? I want to chat with you again." Well, he proceeds to tell me the story that has totally stayed with me all these years. See, at 17 years old, he took it upon himself to call the Dean of Admissions and set an appointment at the Colorado School of Mines. And the intention of this appointment was to find out what he needed to do at CSU the next year, what classes he needed to take, what his GPA needed to be, so he can make that transfer his sophomore year. But when he got there, he talked about his vision for what he wanted to do. He spoke with enthusiasm, he was respectful, and he just showed up as Nabil. Well, as he's telling his story to the Dean of Admissions, the guy holds up his hand and says, "Stop right there." Well, Nabil freezes and thinks, "Oh my gosh, what have I done? Am I in trouble? Have I insulted this man?" And the Dean of Admissions puts his hand down and smiles at him and says, "Congratulations, I'm admitting you to the Colorado School of Mines. And don't you ever get a C in chemistry again." That's what had held him back before. So the story here was a young man who knew what he wanted, and even though the odds were against him, and even though he had heard that this was not going to happen for him, he persisted forward. Well, 2 months later, I'm telling this story with my arm around Nabil in front of several hundred people at our annual black belt test, where I just got to award him this third-degree black belt because Nabil knew how to just keep showing up. So when I'm out speaking, particularly to high school students, I tell this story often because I think it just exemplifies the power of perseverance. But it got me thinking, it doesn't matter if we're a high school student or if we're an adult in the corporate world or if we're a parent. This idea of continuously showing up can work for all of us. And sometimes that means that it's going to be uncomfortable. Sometimes it means we're out of our comfort zone. Sometimes it means we might need to be vulnerable. But the idea there is that when we show up, there is magic on the other side. So I'm challenging all of us this week, myself included. Where's an area in your life that you could show up? Where you could show up as your truest self, your most powerful self, even though the odds might be against you. And what do you got to lose? All they can say is no. So that's my lesson for you this week. Our Mind of a Champion tip of the week is just keep showing up. And if this message resonated with you, if you think it's something that could really help someone else, please comment, like, share it with someone you think would find some value in it, because I believe that if we all keep showing up, the world is a much better place. So thanks so much for viewing. This is Chris Natzke with Black Belt Leadership Speaking and Coaching, and we'll see you next time on the Mind of a Champion Tip of the Week.